go back a little bit and talk about how we met.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, this is Thomas and Mushia here coming to you, and you know she's the African.
And this is the American.
Yes, and today we wanted to come and share with you and go back a little bit and talk about how we met.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was so long ago, you know, we got to recollect these things.
How we met.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. And it's something that we think can actually help some people because we met each other. It's been over 15 years ago that we've been married.
Yeah.
And we can say that the way we met was interesting. And back then it was more interesting, I think, back then because a lot of people didn't trust it.
Yeah.
And but we're going to talk a little bit about it and how it happened. Isn't that something?
Yes. We met when the internet was not popular. And guess where we met? On the internet.
Yes. With
Can you
dial-up.
believe?
Dial-up. Not high speed, but on dial-up.
No camera.
Not only that, now that's one thing. But where we were was a whole nother thing.
Another world.
I was in Chicago.
And I was in Johannesburg.
And where is that?
South Africa. Yeah,
South Africa. Yes.
Far away.
I can remember the day. Well, it was the evening, actually. I had joined something called Christian Mingle. And it's probably there
we
now.
met in the big church of internet.
Yes.
There is a big church out there in the internet, guys. If you are looking for somebody,
Yeah.
don't be ashamed. Go to that church called Christian Mingle.
Yes.
That's where the Christian single mingle
Yeah.
and meet each other. It is a big church for the single.
Yes. And that was the place we met. Christian Mingle.
Yes, that was the church we met.
Online. And I had already been involved with it for maybe a couple months, and I came in contact with a few other people around my area. My idea was I'm gonna look for people like within 50 miles from my house. You know, I didn't want to travel too far.
And then he got trapped.
So, you know, I talked to a few different people on there for a little while, and I always did a search. Like, I would always put in the search, okay, I want 50 miles, this and that, you know, but that was always in there. One evening, I sit down to look, you know, I open up the computer, you know, dial up, it takes a long time to start and everything. So, I would always see where you could search by pictures. They had this feature, you could just look through the pictures. I always said, I'm not going to do that because I need 50 miles. You know, if I look through the pictures, that's a waste of time looking through all them pictures. So, this one evening, though, I felt real strong inside. Look through the pictures. So I start scrolling down the pictures, and hers was one of the first pictures to pop up.
And it caught her.
I'm going to show it on the screen there
And
so you can see that picture.
Caught him.
Yeah.
And he couldn't run away. I catch him right there.
Yeah, so I saw, I'm like, okay, Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm like, wow. But there was something about the picture I really liked. And I thought in my mind, I'm like, okay, because where I worked, there was a lot of people from Africa that worked there. So after well, I thought about this later, not at that moment, but where I'm thinking, okay, well, if they came to America, this person that I'm looking at can come to America too.
That wasn't the 15 miles.
50.
Oh, that wasn't
Yeah.
even 50 miles.
Oh no.
That was 1,000.
Thousands of miles.
So, yeah.
So I looked at her picture, but then I kept going. I'm like, okay, that's so far, but something got my attention, but I just kept going. I'm scrolling down. I'm seeing others. But then it I couldn't forget her picture, so I go back up there. I look again, and so that's when I was thinking. Well, all right. Well, I have a lot of people where I work. They're from Africa. What could be so hard? She could come here too. So I didn't know nothing about Africa. I didn't know nothing about the development there.
Don't even have a passport.
I didn't know nothing about South Africa. I didn't know nothing about the history, even in South Africa. I learned later about
You
it.
didn't even have a history of traveling.
No, I was born in Chicago, lived in Chicago. I love Chicago. Wasn't thinking about traveling. I've never really traveled anywhere. So there I was, and when I went back up and I tapped the picture on, and I could read a little bit about her, and I just love, what she said. She said, "Am a quiet person."
Don't go.
And she just gave one sentence. I'm like, it seems nice.
And I am quiet.
Yeah, she is quiet. A lot of times she's quiet. Now, she likes to have a lot of fun too, so she can talk and have fun. But
Ah, that was fun moment.
so I ended up sending her a message that evening. Now her time, it was like already almost morning for her, or it was like in the morning time. By the time I sent that message, I sent it, and and I turned off the computer, and then I don't know at what point you got the message.
So the next day I go to my office and open my computer. I see the message from True Love. That was his name.
Yeah, True Love, spelled TRULV.
Yeah.
It was one word.
And
Good name.
I just simply replied.
Hmm.
I even forget what was the message.
I forgot too.
Whatever he said, so I also say hi. And not knowing that he was on at that time. And he was like, oh, she replied. So for me, it was just, like talking.
I was really surprised she replied. The next morning when I looked, it struck me. I'm like, she replied? And I actually got scared because I saw she was online. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I saw something that you could try to talk live. I didn't know about that feature yet, I think. And if you press this button, you could talk live. I froze. I'm sitting there and I just froze, and it was funny.
And, yeah, there was one man come in my office. I did have my own office in Johannesburg. So he came, asked me to check the email in my computer, and I let him. Then when he opened, I see something, Christian Mingo. When I asked him, he completely closed his email and say, no, that is nothing. That is just the junk mail. And because I have been looking for a place where the Christian to chat, but I couldn't know how to find it. So he closed his email, but he don't know that it stay in the search. And later on, I opened my computer and I went in search. In history, I find the name Christian Mingo. So I'm like, Christian Mingo? Okay. What do I do? What they do? I read about it, I open it, and you have 7 days free to sign in. And I did. I signed up, and they required a picture. I was like, no way, I'm not putting my picture in there. That day I didn't put the picture.
You were shy, I think.
I was very shy and was thinking what
different beliefs you had.
People of my generation, they will say, you know. But when I went home, it was running in my head. Just put your picture, just put. So next day I came, I take the picture, and I put my picture in there. I am like, okay, I'm ready to talk. I don't know who will come to talk to me or who I meet, I don't know. So I put the picture. Next day, I find that 100 people view my picture. I was like, no, 100? I take off my picture.
And that was the amazing thing, because you had it on for 1 day, right?
Yes.
So can you believe that for months I was searching on there, only did a criteria where 50 miles, whatever. I didn't search through the pictures, not one time. That day, I felt inside, look at the pictures. I remember, I'm like, why look at the pictures? These people are all over the place. And I didn't plan on going far to meet someone. But, you know, it was so strong. And, you know, God works in amazing ways. And so I started looking at the pictures. The one day she put her picture up and left it up, I caught her.
Okay, guys, stay tuned to find out what next.
Yeah, because we want to share a lot how we communicated and why we think the internet is
the best place.
A very good,
Yeah.
Probably one of the best
Probably.
ways, you know, in this day of modern technology. And we'll go into how long we talked and different things like that, and take it from there. So be looking for the next video very soon.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.